Hello folks, welcome back. This is Chris in central Pennsylvania. Things are going from bad to frighteningly worse in Afrophobic South Africa, where March and the MK party keep blaming foreign nationals for the African National Congress's failures. Their intimidation and threats have left a sour taste in the mouths of many African states, angry at the ineptitude of South African authorities, fostering a sense of betrayal from the ANC, whom many African countries sheltered during the apartheid era. We've now seen Ghana, Malawi, and Zimbabwe frantically repatriate their nationals over the past week, with many still fleeing the Rainbow Nation. Nigeria previously intimated that they too would evacuate their nationals. How embarrassing for a government that denies that it has 145 race-based discriminatory laws to be exposed for its unwillingness or inability to protect foreign nationals, black Africans, no less, from abuses by black South Africans. While no one is entitled to illegally enter South Africa or any other sovereign state without its consent, vigilantes operating with impunity and defying Ramaphosa's threats to stop them are not the answer. March and March, Operation Dudela, the MK Party, Action SA, and the Patriotic Alliance's adolescent analysis of why 40% of South Africans are unemployed is embarrassing. Their anger should be directed at the African National Congress for its macroeconomic failures, its justice system ineptitude, its refusal to patrol its borders, and Home Affairs lax policies which have allowed millions of criminal alien invaders to enter the country, open businesses, and even at times claim benefits intended for South Africans. While cloaking their actions as directed against illegal aliens, these vigilantes seldom make any distinction between legal or illegal foreign nationals, attacking anyone perceived to be alien, including 10 to 15 generation South Africans like Operation Dudela blocking a white South African from entering a government-run health facility in KwaZulu-Natal recently. That criminal act and a large amount of racist bile online and social media targeting white South Africans as settlers and colonizers has gone with no response by President Ramaphosa and the entire national government for months now. Not only are these thugs threatening illegals, they're also threatening white South Africans. And this is exactly why Donald Trump issued his executive order over a year ago. The silence from Pretoria and the captured South African Human Rights Commission as racists openly threaten to harm white citizens is sickening. Now, the MK party has gone to great pains over the past week or so to claim it's not in bed with March and March. But no, we're not part of this anti-immigration sentiment. But in fact, they are a part of it. They may not be planning with them, but they're certainly behaving in the same fashion. They joined an anti-immigrant sentiment that was on display with a huge show of force in Durban this Wednesday. Clad in their party regalia and wielding knob carries, shields, and Jacob Zuma cutouts, the 3,000 people in this crowd, including March and March loyalists and Operation Dudela, as well as MK Party enthusiasts, marched from Curry's Fountain Stadium to City Hall in a deathly quiet central business district where people are terrified to go about their business. More than 1,000 immigrants, mostly from Malawi, have fled their homes in Burnwood Informal Settlement in Durban after the South African residents told them to leave on Sunday. I ran for my life after seeing a group of people approaching my shack, said Ernest Machelwa. I took whatever I could carry and ran away with my wife and our 7-month-old child. The group was shouting, Abahamba, Abahamba, meaning we must go home. Some were carrying sjambaks, golf sticks, and bush knives. It's not easy to open a case because I escaped unharmed. We hope the South African government and the police will help us so we can be safe. I wouldn't hold my breath if I were you. The South African police aren't helping South Africans. South Africans are left to the brutality of criminals as the police don't have the resources or simply don't respond. Approximately 75 Malawian nationals initially sought their refuge at Sherwood Grounds next to Sherwood Hall, and they were already risen to a total of 1,000 by Tuesday. As of Wednesday, that number had creeped up to 1,200, mostly Malawians. Arrangements are being made with immigration authorities and the Malawian embassy for their repatriation. Adam Ali from the Malawian embassy's disaster response team said, most people told us they're ready to be repatriated because they no longer feel safe in South Africa. We're grateful for humanitarian assistance, especially as many women are heavily pregnant. Security has also been improved with the presence of police and private security, and we expect the first group to be repatriated early next week. But there are now over 1,200 Malawians waiting to get out of there. Ward 31 Councilor Ramona McKenzie from the Democratic Alliance said the number of displaced people was increasing fast and called for urgent intervention by the municipality. This situation has instilled fear and uncertainty among residents who are witnessing these events unfold in their own communities. Such fear undermines social cohesion and threatens stability we are working hard to build. All of this in advance of the threat on the 30th of June, 2026, against foreign nationals. As I said, these people aren't making distinctions between illegals and legals. They're arguing the problem is illegals, but they've threatened legal citizens. And with the murder of 5 Mozambicans and 2 Ghanaians this past week, the country is on knife's edge. This is a frightening prospect. And this is now being extended, as I said, not just from illegals, criminal alien invaders, but any foreigner, and many of these racists and bigots who have Afrophobia against black Africans also are racist against white South Africans, calling them settlers and colonizers and telling them to get out, ignoring the history of South Africa and the fact that all black South Africans are also settlers and colonizers, having come down the Rift Valley and crossing the Zambezi and then the Limpopo River about 1,600 years ago and entering what is today South Africa. They're not indigenous any more than European-descended South Africans. These threats are repulsive, vile, and criminal. And there's a reason Donald Trump issued an executive order castigating South Africa's government last year. And it's all playing out for the world to see. African governments are angry, and rightly so, at the ineptitude and inaction of South Africa's government. Ubuntu, Rainbow Nation, Rainbow Nazi. What a bunch of horse manure. This is a government that doesn't care about its citizens and sure as hell doesn't care about foreign nationals. And that's on display for all of Africa to see. What say you, South Africa, Mzansi? Cheers.